A German judge acquits a rapist simply because the rapist might have thought that he was just having, quote, wild sex. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article. The judge argued that the mentality of the Turkish cultural circle, what the woman had experienced as rape, might be considered merely wild sex. The judge refused to convict the rapist because no intention is demonstrable. The judge told the woman, "I believe Mrs. G's every word," but added, "Her tormentor probably didn't know what he was doing to her." The woman claims that the rape had lasted for 4 hours until it ended when the drug dealer got a phone call. She could not judge whether, with the mentality of the Turkish cultural circle, he had thought the happening she experienced as rape might have been for wild sex, the paper reported. A conviction is not possible because no intention is demonstrable. Which is interesting because he apparently denied from the beginning that he had raped her, and his defense was, in fact, he would not do such a thing, especially since he himself had a mother and a sister. Interesting, right? Wouldn't that prove that he was well aware of his actions? Every time one of these stories comes up, and it's just about every other day or so, it reminds me that we don't owe anything to any other country to take in a bunch of people willy-nilly. We don't have to bring people in. It's a nice thing that our country does, and there's no obligation, and I really hope we start learning that. And then I found this other article from the 12th, so it's about 10 days old, but this is another one of those stories. And it's translated through Google Translate, so I apologize for how it might sound. Brutal violence and rape as Swedish teenagers invite 2 Africans to the party. 3 Swedish teenage girls in fact, as well as a male friend, had invited 2 African men to a party. The evening ended with the fact that the friend was almost killed and one of the girls was brutally raped. After a verbal discussion, the Africans sprayed the male friend of the young women with pepper spray. And this is not enough with brutal violence. They beat and hit the young man's head as he was already lying on the ground. The victim lost consciousness, but they kept on striking. The other partygoers thought he was actually dead. Subsequently, the 21-year-old African uploaded a video to Snapchat in which he makes fun of having killed a guy. After the attack, there was a danger to the young man. The victim had several cerebral hemorrhages, severe swelling and bruises all over his body, as well as bone fractures and open wounds. The young man suffered permanent damage in the form of memory impairments and reduced ability to concentrate. So they literally disfigured this man for life. One of the girls wanted to intervene. She was strangled by the 19-year-old, pushed against the wall, and then hurled to the ground. He then grabbed her friend by the hair and pulled her into the bedroom. "If you scream, I'll hit you," said the African to the young woman, who was then paralyzed with fear. During the rape, he choked her. Only when a neighbor stormed into the apartment did the women flee from the Africans. Google Translate on that last article was rather amusing, if I don't mind saying so myself. It kept referring to the men as the Africans throughout it. Gotta love that cultural enrichment. Multiculturalism, huh? Let's get a round of applause for that. Well, like I said earlier, I would rather not have to read about this happening in a local town or to somebody I know, so I'm starting to kind of change my mind on whether we should let anybody come to America. Hell, sometimes I wonder if I don't even know what to think anymore.